Yes guys, how's it going? Welcome back to a new video. Hope you guys are all enjoying your Monday, start of a new week. Unfortunately, the start of the international break as well. So there is no Newcastle this weekend, no Newcastle for, well, as I say, just under 2 weeks when we take on Wolves away before we take on Fulham away, and then we're back at Newcastle for Man City at home. So some tough fixtures coming up off the back of what has been a good start to the season. Unbeaten is the way to look at it. It's fair to say that maybe we haven't played our best football just yet. But, you know, if this is how we, if we get results when we're playing badly, as I said in my reaction video of the game yesterday, I would love to see how we got on when we're playing well. But despite the fact the transfer window's closed, we're cracking on with the season. Could a key Newcastle player still be set to leave? That's right, TRIPPIER, reported by Sky Sports as to still being, well, heavily linked to leaving the football club despite the transfer window closing, and we will talk about that in this video. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, be sure to do so. Drop a like if you are enjoying all of this content. As I say, it has been mainly transfer window focused, despite the fact we didn't buy anyone. So there you go. But we're getting the season underway now, and as I say, I had a fantastic time at St James's Park at the weekend. The return of Sandro Tonali. I mean, I've seen him in the midweek for Forest as well. It was a can he drive down, can he drive back, but well worth it when you win a penalty shootout. And it was the same again on Sunday. Not the greatest game. I think there was some serious plaudits to go out to the likes of Dan Burn, despite whatever happened with that goal. Kraft I thought did really well. I thought Livramento did well. Joe Linton obviously won man of the match. Gordon had moments. Barnes scored. Isak scored, but it just wasn't consistent. It wasn't consistent. There was moments where Isak was having a bit of a wander. There was moments when Gordon was having a bit of a wander. Someone who didn't actually get onto the pitch, but was... I've seen a video, basically, of Trippier at the sideline. I think it might have been Newcastle Fans TV who posted it, and I think they actually captioned it something along the lines of, you don't have to wear the captain's armband to be a captain or to have that kind of leadership, taking some responsibility for what's going on. And Kieran Trippier was basically at the sideline trying to push the players on and push them further forward. And it has been an interesting kind of conversation throughout the summer as to what was going to happen with Kieran Trippier. He was heavily linked away. To some degree, it was thought that maybe we should have actually sold him in the January window gone, because 15 million is, a decent amount for a player with what's actually reported to be 2 years left on his deal, not 1 year. So it's thought that Kieran Trippier has in fact had a 1 year extension, which has kind of been done behind the scenes without an official announcement. But despite the fact the window's ended, Trippier is still being linked to leave. Now, funnily enough, we saw this today. We saw it today. Jamal Lewis has got to join Sao Paulo in Brazil because their transfer window doesn't close till tonight. Saudi Arabia's also doesn't close till later on tonight. So who knows? Maybe we could see some movement on something Newcastle selling players related today. It doesn't seem that way. It's actually the Turkish League. The Turkish League is open. Transfer window, I should say, is open for another 10 to 11 days, and Trippier is being touted by 2 or 3 Turkish teams. So let me know your thoughts down below on Trippier, on him potentially still leaving with 2 weeks to go. Basically, the way it works is, although the Premier League window has closed, so we cannot buy players, we can still continue to sell players to teams whose transfer window is still open. And following all of the seeming unrest of Trippier, it's thought that maybe he could be still moved to a Turkish team. Who knows, maybe link up with Jose Mourinho over at Fenerbahce or Galatasaray. There's a few different names being floated around at the moment, teams that appear to be interested. It's been a strange one with Trippier, really, because he lost the captain's armband. He finished the season poorly. He went off with England and did all right for all intents and purposes, and then came back to Newcastle, lost the captain's armband, and then has been linked to leaving ever since. And it seems that Livramento is the player who's been given the nod. But I will I will say that I think Livramento is there or thereabouts and will not long succeed Trippier. But I think right now, it will be very... I don't think we can overlook Trippier. I appreciate that when in moments he isn't at his best. Yeah, I think he has lost a yard of pace, but that's not really his game anyway. He creates chances. He created, what was it? The most chances last season or the season before from the right back position, which is crazy. It's understood why you get why teams are interested in him. And I think if we the point of selling Trippier for me was that we would sell him to make money to buy somebody else. If we're going to sell him just to sell him, I don't think we should do it. I think I would actively be disappointed if we let Trippier go. You talk about keeping Isak, keeping Bruno, keeping Gordon this summer. Trippier wasn't on that list. But if we aren't going to sell to bring in, then what's the point? I think it's similar with Almiron. I mean, I don't think there will be too many, tears lost from fans if Almiron did go, but the assumption is if Almiron went, we would replace him with another right winger. And it's the same with Trippier right now. It's all well and good for Newcastle to... The only thing I would say is if it's because there's something behind the scenes that we don't know about. Because you could actively... That's the link is a loan. The link is a loan with an option to buy. I mean, in what world is it benefiting us to loan Trippier out? Kraft has been fantastic at that right side centre-back. Livramento has had good moments. I don't think he's quite been perfect yet or as good as we've seen him last season. Who's the backup then? Is Kraft the backup right back and right centre back? I mean, obviously we're waiting for Lascelles and a few others to come back, but I think that even if we went right, Trippier's going to be the backup right back. That's still better than having nothing. Unless, as I say, it's because there's stuff going on behind the scenes where Newcastle would actually, because they've relieved him of the captaincy, because they've told Livramento that he's first choice, is there more going on there? Which is why Newcastle are potentially considering loaning him out or effectively giving him away. The other side of it is wages. I imagine Trippier is probably on a fair bit. I don't think he's possibly on the Bruno or an Isak, but I imagine he's still probably up there close to 100 grand a week. And for a backup right back, that is quite a pretty penny. So I possibly wonder if, to some degree as well, if Newcastle are going, we're probably not going to start Trippier as much as we did last time round. Maybe his levels have... It's crazy to say that his levels have fell off. He was literally, bearing in mind the options England had, he was still getting the game, every game. So I think there's more for Trippier to provide Newcastle this season. But if it's a case of unrest behind the scenes, huge pay packets that maybe in the eyes of Newcastle aren't worth it, and that's why we could potentially see him leave for a loan with an option to buy. So that doesn't even say they're definitely going to buy him. I think for me, if we are going to go through with it, it either has to be an upfront fee of 20 million or even an obligation to buy for 20 million. So at least next summer we've got an immediate cash injection from having not had Trippier this season. But I would still be careful. Because if we're not going to, what's the money to us now? We came out 25 million in profit from the summer window because we sold players and we didn't bring anybody in. So in theory, in January or next summer, we should already have all the money we didn't spend this time, plus what we can spend in January, plus what we can spend in the summer. In that respect, what is an extra 15 million for Trippier when you could have him is a necessary part of the squad? Let me know your thoughts down below of the game at the weekend. How did you think Livramento got on? Do you think he did well? Do you think it's key that we keep Trippier? Or when we can't bring anybody in? Or would you be happy to maybe let him go? Let Livramento take over that number 2 spot and we'll get the money for Trippier and I guess we'll try and spend it in the January. Thoughts in the comments down below. Just when you think the window's ended. Apparently it hasn't. We've got 2 weeks of various leagues. All, as I say, Brazil ends tonight, Saudi Arabia ends tonight. Trippier heavily linked to go to a Saudi team. That's gone quiet. I wonder if there's suddenly something about that later on today or an Almiron. Who knows? I would think not, because there's very little noise on that. But this Turkish team stuff seems to be taking off a little bit. So thoughts and comments down below. Thank you for watching as always. Hope you guys have enjoyed. your Monday, and as I say, undefeated Newcastle. Let's enjoy that for the next 2 weeks before we get back into action. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.